runs ahead. We join play now in the England innings. It's Patrick Patterson coming in from the Radcliffe Road end. He's going to bowl to Graham Gooch, and 3 runs are on the board. Tucked that away nicely, and the timing was good. That field is still not desperately fast out there, just quick enough that it will run into the rope after Marshall has tried to stop it with his foot.
And this is Malcolm Marshall. Oh, that is a beautiful ball. Nothing at all that Graham Gooch could do about that, and if he'd heard the tinkle of wickets, he'd not have been at all surprised. Alongside me, admiring his Railingworth.
Well, you don't want 6 of those and over, that's for certain. Perfect length, line, movement out off the seam. No real answer to that. Not one of the best shots there by Graham Gooch. A little bit wide and just hanging the bat out there.
And a change of bowling at the pavilion end. Curtly Ambrose. So England have fought off Malcolm Marshall's first spell. 4 overs, 2 maidens, 0 for 3. Not exactly hit anywhere, but to keep him out is the main thing at this stage. Not where Chris Broad intended, but it's gone at a fair pace away there, back out of square. The cheers will tell you that it eventually got to the rope, and Chris Broad has 4 runs. Oh, dear, dear. Well played, Chris Broad. They were very well bowled, too. Just that extra thing. It's as if you bowl and it hits a trampoline. Well, I don't think I've given up all hope, Tom, have you?
No, we're not quite as far down as that, I guess.
Patterson now to Broad. It's a good shot. Racing away there. Outfield appreciably quicker than in the first 3 days. Courtney Walsh now coming on to replace Patrick Patterson. Oh, that's 4 runs. Quite safe. Almost played there. He was looking to play it squarer, but there was something of the uppercut in the shot. Oh, that's out. It's well bowled. Nicely taken by Dujon. Just pitching in the right place to draw Broad into the push.
Yes. Chris Broad caught Dujon, bowled Ambrose for 16. Battled for 80 minutes. And I think you'll see that this slanting across him went quite wide in the end. Just getting a little outside edge on it.
Yes, an unsettling over. He'd banged in 2 bounces, and then the one that didn't get up, that one which did, and also left him.
And in fact, Chris Broad had both feet off the ground then when he was playing that.
Courtney Walsh now to bowl to Gatting. Oh, that was very close.
Yes, in fact, it was so close it took Jeff Dujon by surprise. I think you'll see this will go over almost the corner of the off stump. My goodness me, he just got his pad outside the off stump, although the fact that he wasn't playing a shot really didn't mean there was any protection for him there.
Viv Richards has brought back Malcolm Marshall. $50 up and Gooch goes to half that number.
Well, I think the tide's coming again. It's, Walsh is really getting the ball to move around. And that was an absolute pearler. Went like a leg break and kept on going.
No third man, so they'll get 4 for that. It's been an interesting day for Malcolm. That's nicely timed. That'll settle Graham Gooch down nicely.
Well, there's one thing about these quicker bowlers. If you can just turn the ball with the roll of the wrist and use the pace of the ball, it certainly goes away pretty quickly. And that's what happened there. Right up to Gooch. It's a turn of the wrist, lovely timed shot, and away to square leg for 4.
Well, Dujon somehow got across there to between first and second slip. Looked to me as though that probably came off the cue end of the bat. Gatting was through with the stroke much too early.
Yeah, banged in very short, halfway down. Not sure it was quite short enough to pull, and that was going to the right hand of first slip.
Ambrose to Gooch on 49. Oh, what a good delivery. And well played, and that shows the value of keeping your eye on the ball.
Yes, that's exactly right, the summing up there. Graham Gooch watching that go by and just waving his head to one side. Very, very well played indeed. Nasty bouncer. And as soon as it got high, he dropped his hands and just swayed out of the way.
And there's his 50. And although he's played more attractive ones, I don't think any more valuable than that one.
Fine innings by Graham Gooch. He's looked very, very solid. Got right behind everything and a tremendous effort.
First bowling change and Courtney Walsh. Walsh to Gatting. Very nicely taken, because that ball did quite a lot.
It did a lot after it went by Gatting. It's quite close. And watch that swing now. My goodness me. Did well to get across there.
And with 5 minutes to go to the hour, we're in the 12th over of the morning. What do you think? Looks all right to me. Yes, give it them back. That's a good shot. 4 runs. Gucci's second 4 of the day, and a rare half volley. There's runs. Graham Gooch now suddenly sliding into top gear. It's away there for 4 runs.
Yes, 2 fine shots this over. Once again, slanting down, rolling the wrists, hitting that through mid-wicket for 4.
And that's the 100 coming up of 265 balls. So England on 102 for 1, still 101 runs behind. Patterson to Gooch.
And 4 more. No one will know at the end of the day exactly how that came to get between second and third slip, and Gooch won't care very much.
No, that shouldn't really happen. Somebody should be getting a hand to that.
It's just missing leg stump, I should think. Came back a long, long way.
Yes, Walsh getting the ball to move about more off the pitch than probably anybody, and that went late in there and kept on going. Well, probably just a missed leg stump there.
Marshall is also fielding at slip and wearing 2 sweaters. Looks very much like an injury to me. Rib injury. Very sensibly, the West Indies didn't let anyone know that he might have been injured. They just went ahead and used Ambrose and Patterson this morning. The 4 for Mike Gatting. Kept that down very well.
In fact, there is a danger of playing this stroke because that bit of extra bounce from these big West Indian fast bowlers, and that got quite high. Mike Gatting playing that pretty well, getting right on top of it and knocking it down.
And Malcolm Marshall comes on. And never take him too lightly. He's just running up, rolling over his arm, and somehow or other he slipped it through the defence of the England captain.
I think Mike Gatting might have been a little bit casual here. I don't know. No, in fact, it wasn't a bad delivery. It pitched and just left him off the pitch, so I was being a little bit unfair there to Mike Gatting. Perfect length, and in fact, it just pitched about off stump and then hit off stump, so really it wasn't a bad delivery. Not quite so satisfying from the England point of view.
Just did enough to go past the outside edge. 116 for 2. The new batsman is David Gower.
Well, edgy.
Yes, David Gower rather playing on the walk here. Not really getting very positively out on that front foot and getting a thick inside edge.
And now Marshall going over the wicket, so ready to try anything to unsettle the batsman. Oh, it's a handsome shot. Really was. Just picked off his toes. A real vintage Gower boundary. That takes England on to 130 for 2. Walsh to Gooch. That's a lovely shot. Really, Gooch, the longer he bats, the better he looks.
Yes, Jack, and he's looked fairly good right from the word go, but this is a cracking stroke. Roll of the wrists, 4 runs from the moment left to bat, just in front of square.
2 more runs added to take the lunchtime score along to 139 for 2, and Gooch had played quite beautifully for his 77. Gower was on 10. Soon after the restart, Malcolm Marshall left the field. I'm afraid he took no further part in the day's play. We'll pick it up now in the 6th over after lunch. Richards is bowling to Gooch. It's 155 for 2.
Yeah, speed played. See the ball gathering speed there. Those big bats that they use these days, and of course Graham Gooch so strong in the forearm.
Yes, gentle outswing, but it's going most of the way from Viv Richards. But Gooch playing that a little bit on the up, and if it had just gone a little bit more, there's always a chance of that ball going to the slips. Because that's what Viv Richards is after, just trying to get a wicket somehow before he brings back his main quickers.
This is Curtly Ambrose to David Gower. Oh, yes. Very interesting to see Curtly Ambrose trying to change the angle, getting to the edge of the crease, and Gower reading it straight away.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with the shot this time. That was very short, and that allowed him plenty of time to play the stroke. And again, he got properly onto his back foot rather than being stuck with his feet together. You see there, he got well onto the back foot, weight on the back foot, and really clipped that down behind square.
Curtly Ambrose to Gooch. Well, that's well bowled. Gooch this time not quite in line, but there was a little bit of movement there as well.
Yes, I think Graham Gooch expected that to come into him. In fact, it left him off the pitch quite a bit. A very, very good delivery indeed.
That's a good shot. 4 runs. That's his 11th 4, taking him within 3 of 100.
And over behind that, clipping that just behind square. Super shot. With an upright bat, which is so important on a pitch where the ball varies in bounce.
It's flicked away, just the single. Well, that could have gone anywhere. 3 slips in a gully and he found the gap. 4 runs.
A little bit of luck there for David Gower, and it was noticeable after he played the shot. He gave his leg a whack with the bat. He hit his pad. He was very annoyed with himself playing that fast-footed shot, and it really could have gone anywhere.
Carl Hooper to Gooch. .99. I'm sure that when Gooch gets back on the strike, we shall see Viv Richards trying to apply a little bit of pressure and trying to seal all the holes that he can. Well, there's 3 batsmen who could still bat today. Pringle, Downton and Embury, looking at Gooch on 99. Oh my word, and nearly so near. Great delivery.
What a good delivery again. Leg break. Moving away from Gooch. Very, very good delivery indeed. Been an awful lot of playing and missing in this match.
So, Ambrose to Gooch on 99. And there it is. Nice single away to mid-wicket. Great innings for England. Gooch's 8th Test 100, 4th against the West Indies, and his first one here at Trent Bridge.
Very, very fine innings indeed for Graham Gooch and for England. I just had a feeling that if he'd happened to get out early this morning, that England could have been in quite a lot of trouble, but he's played absolutely superbly today.
Well, there's one man who's probably seen most of it before. Hooper to Gooch.
And the more runs they make, the better. Little gifts of that kind could hardly be more appreciated.
Yes, I think even if you come in for the first ball of your innings, that'd have been a gift. Certainly when you've got 100 against your name, and it's more than a gift.
Patterson de Gower.
.203 for 2, so England have caught up now. 245 in their first innings, plus 203, gives them 448. Same as West Indies when they closed. Now Viv Richards is to bowl from the Radcliffe Road end. I assume from the way they're shuffling their field around that he's going to bowl spin this time. That's a good shot by Gower. Gone past Richie Richardson's right hand. And a half century for David Gower. A welcome half century for David Gower. It's his second first-class 50 this season. Now then, that's the end of the 91st over. It's also the end of play up to tea on this last day. Very, very good session for England, 34 overs bowled. So the over rate jumped up to 17 per hour with the introduction of the spinners. 102 runs came from those 34 overs and no wickets. David Gower is 55 not out and Graham Gooch 128. It's a splendid partnership, good fighting cricket.
There's the reserve umpire, Jack Hampshire. Box of balls at the ready, but they've only just taken a new one. Walsh it is to David Gower. Oh my word, and that's straight back inside, straight through for 4 runs and a chance off the very first ball after tea.
Yes, well, they've had 2 or 3 opportunities today of the West Indies to break through and they've not taken them. Pretty good delivery, and it's an inside edge, which is always going to be very difficult. Doojan just got far enough across, just underneath his hand.
Lovely athletic run of Courtney Walsh. Oh, and a good delivery, but also well played. Just as Gooch kept his eye on it earlier on in the day, that's the way to play it.
Yes, Gower kept on watching this. It was banged in short, just in his own half. But he kept his eye on the ball and avoided it quite easily. That's what they used to do in the old days before helmets. Now some tend to stick their head in the way.
Well, clumsy bit of footwork there. Haynes just back on the field, and a couple of runs brings up the 250. Prosperous days for England, and the last 50 have come off 108 deliveries. Well, that's just 4 runs, nobody moved. Just sat up and begged.
Well, That's the first time we've seen any of the England batsmen take the bouncer on. Gooch, who got hit on the face at Lord's, trying to have a dart at the bouncer. Still hooking from this side of the ball, having to fetch it a long way. And if it had bounced a bit higher, he could well have got in trouble.
Patrick Patterson to David Gower. He can get hold of it. Had he done so, who knows? Sloppy bit of cricket because it was a fairly badly timed shot, misfielding and badly called by the two England batsmen. Only one run from it. Glorious shot. Just lets the ball come onto him, Gooch. That's when he's in form.
Yes, there was a time when Gooch was falling too far over last year, and he stood up beautifully for that. See that? The head never fell over there, and that was why he timed it so well. Nice and straight up, and just off the toes, and no falling over at all there.
Walsh to Gooch. Well, a short arm jab there, and that's 4 runs. Didn't seem to be any power in it at all. Almost a reflex shot.
Yes, I think that probably Gooch didn't pick this up. It was a pretty high full toss, waist high, and I think it was just really a jab at it as he saw it halfway down. I mean, quite a lot of those bowled. People are trying to bowl Yorkers and get them quite a bit high.
Well, there's a great shot and well fielded.
And in fact, that was a chance. Gooch driving it pretty hard, not too high, a couple of feet off the deck. Fielder there had just got both hands to it, but it came out. It would have been a marvellous catch.
That's Gower at his best. Beautifully timed shot. Footwork safe and sure enough. The blade opening at impact. Well, as a bowler, wouldn't feel happy if that went past mid-on, but it's you yourself, it's different, following through on the wrong foot.
Well, this has been the tale for the West Indies all day. The ball's either just squirted out of reach or somebody's dropped it, and nearly every batsman's had one or two of those sort of escapes. And if they were going to win the West Indies, then most of these things had to go to hand.
Oh, and that's out. Well, finally, Gooch, a fairly tired shot, and why not? He's batted for nearly 7 hours, the end of a marvellous innings, and one that's gone, I say most of the way, probably all the way towards securing England a draw.
Yes, it didn't look a bad delivery, actually, Jack. This one coming down and just bouncing and leaving Graham Gooch a bit. It makes him look as though he hasn't got behind it, but it was a good delivery. And Gooch not waiting for any umpire's signal. He's on his way straight.
A standing ovation from the members' pavilion. Stand for that third wicket of 161. The new batsman Alan Lamb, hardly to be envied. Off the mark straight away, that'll make him feel better.
Yes, little smile on the face. feeling better now. A couple of runs under his belt and away from the dreaded pair.
It certainly was a relief for Alan Lamb, but he struggled all the way through to the close of play for his 6 not out. David Gower within 12 of 100, and they called it off at 5:30, which they're quite entitled to under the playing conditions. 301 for 3 with Gooch 146. A great innings from Graham Gooch to follow on his splendid batting in the first innings, and a bit of excitement at the end of the day with Curtly Ambrose bowling to David Gower. 2 bounces, one of which hit him on the helmet, and the helmet almost fell on the stumps, and then straight after that, a very big appeal for LBW. Curtly Ambrose, 23 overs, 4 maidens, 1 for 56. Could have had better figures than that. Marshall, 1 for 23. A sad moment for the West Indies when he had to leave the field. He was certainly missed out there today. A wicket to Patrick Patterson. And Courtney Walsh bowled pretty well, although he gained no result. The 2 spinners, Richards and Hooper, couldn't get through at all. And that is what happened here in this opening corner.